Hello, everyone, and welcome to another EuroStep episode live on YouTube and on EuroLeague TV. All your weekly information about what's going on Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, your favorite basketball competition. Thank you to my co-host and resident expert, Dane Arlauckas, for joining me on another day.
Hey, what's up, Sophia? It's playoff time, baby. Let's get into it. Hey, and look at the gang back together. Look at us. I mean, you guys are like homies now. We were hanging in Madrid a few weeks ago. I like it. I like being together in person a little bit more. But hey, this is great too.
Yeah, this is how EuroStep started, and this is how it's going. Playoff weeks, and we couldn't think of a better guest to join us today to share his opinion, to share his expertise. And I'm talking about Anthony Goods, the host of the Watch Along. Thank you so much, Anthony, for joining us again.
Hey, thank you for having me back. You know, if I had a playoff for my favorite people, you guys would be the number one and the number two seed. You know what I mean? But I'm very.
Hey, I'm not
excited
gonna ask who's one and who's two.
No.
We go to. You guys got to shoot it out to three.
We go together as a package day.
Of course, that's true. Very true.
Yeah, so we have an exciting week ahead, and we want everyone watching today to get involved. We want you to guys send your love, send your questions, send your comments, send whatever you want, and we're gonna be reading the best comments and questions that you guys have. You know, you're our fourth guy, so start commenting and sending us love. Also, we have a very special discount, EuroLeague discount to offer to you tonight. You can enjoy a 10% off on an annual or monthly pass on EuroLeague TV with the code. Write down Watch Along 10. Unless you are in Italy or in Spain, you can use it. So the sooner that you start using it, you can enjoy all the advantages that EuroLeague and EuroLeague TV has to offer you. So guys, let's talk about why we're here today. We have it's a time of the truth, as we would say in Spain, and the playoff games are here, and we're gonna be talking about these matchups and these playoff three, because Maccabi's win last week finally ended up setting up how this playoff three looks like. So Barcelona will face Bayern Munich, Real Madrid will face Maccabi Tel Aviv, Armani Exchange Milan will face Anadolu Efes, and Olympiacos will face as Monaco. We have already someone commenting in YouTube's El Noyus asking a question to Dane, saying, who do you think will win, Bayern or Barcelona? We'll jump into that in just a few minutes. Give us some time to introduce the games, and we're gonna go right to that, because exactly the first game that we're gonna be talking about is a matchup between Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Barcelona lost their last two regular season games, whereas Bayern Munich won their in the last fixture against Real Madrid. Who do you think, Dane, arrives on better form for this playoff series?
Well, I think El Nojus is arriving in the best form of anybody, because he read our minds over here. I mean, he's running the show from his computer. But this is a question where Bayern Munich, okay, they beat Madrid. Barcelona, they lost their last two games, but at that point, Barcelona had switched it off. I mean, they still had their starters playing, but that was just to keep legs fresh, to make sure that they were still in the game rhythm, sort of. But it didn't matter if Bayern Munich won the last 10 games. They wouldn't be more informed than Barcelona after the fantastic season that they had. Barcelona won 8 of their last 9 before that 2-game slip to end the regular season. And let's not forget, Bayern Munich, before that Real Madrid game where they came back, they had to come back from 19 points down late in the third quarter. They had lost 5 of their last 6 games. So this is a Bayern Munich team that kind of tripped into the playoffs. They got that one win they needed against Crvena Zvezda, but that was really the best thing that happened to them in the last month of the season. Granted, they had a lot of games to make up, so they were very busy at the end of the season, which can kind of tell you why they did struggle towards the end of the regular season. They got that big win that'll give them some energy, give them some belief, give them some hope against Barcelona. But if you're asking form coming into this to the playoffs, nobody's in better form than Barcelona. Let that 2-game slide pass at the end of the regular season.
We also have Todd Packer, who is agreeing with you because he's saying Barça Grande. So Barça Grande, not only during these games that we've talked about in the regular season, but also if we look at the history between both teams, if we look at the past games between both of them, Barcelona took the win. So Anthony, do you think that this makes them favorites to win this playoff series in this first week of the and this first game of the series?
Yeah, I definitely think it makes them the favorites. I mean, Barcelona has beaten Bayern twice. Bayern has to figure out how to beat Barcelona. Barcelona's already got the recipe. I think they're coming into this series with confidence. They've won at home, they've won away. I mean, Bayern is the one that's going to be tested, and I think they have a lot to figure out. But I think this series is over quick.
Yeah, one of the things they're going to have to figure out, Anthony, is how to stop Nikola Mirotic, who's been the star of the season, the MVP favorite coming into the playoffs, and highest PIR in the league. What role is he going to play, Anthony, for Barcelona in this series?
I think he's going to play a major role. I mean, when you look at Mirotic, I mean, he does so many things on the floor. He scores from so many different places on the floor. So I think he's going to impact this series with his scoring. But not only just that, but just by the attention. Like you have to game plan around him and things of that nature. So I think Mirotic is going to play like a huge role for Barcelona. On the flip side, I see Bayern. Deshaun Thomas has been playing extremely well for Bayern. I think if he can kind of ride that momentum, I think it can present some problems for Barca. But at the end of the day, Barca's just so deep. I really don't think if Rubit or Thomas has a big series, which I do like their forwards on Bayern, I still don't think it's enough.
Well, Sofia, for a long time, probably since the start of the season, you've been tipping Mirotic as your MVP. Has anything changed over the last few weeks? Are you sticking with your gut decision from all the way back in round one?
Well, you said it right. I've been saying this since we started with the show, and also since the league, since the season started. So for now, I'm gonna stick with that thought. I think that he's key for Barcelona, and since he came back last year to play in Europe, that has been his goal, leading his team to win the EuroLeague trophy and getting himself the MVP title. I think that we all thought that last year it was Barcelona's year, and that's where basketball proves that anything can happen and that the favorites, they can be all the favorites that you want, but it's all down to every game. So I think he's gonna be key, and I think that truly this is his year, and he will take it. But let's see how these games develop. Let's see how they arrive to the Final Four, because I think that they will win the series. So we'll jump into that later, because now I want to tell you guys that Barcelona have only lost 2 games at home, and Bayern have only won 5 games on the road. So Dane, I want to know your opinion, and also Anthony, do you think that Bayern will struggle in these first 2 games of the series?
Yeah, I think Bayern's going to struggle, and that has nothing to do with their struggles on the road. I think that just has to do with how good of a team Barcelona is. Barca, they dropped that game against Maccabi, gave up the most points that ever has been scored in EuroLeague in Palau Blaugrana history, but that really, like I said, they had switched that off at the end of the regular season. But I do think that Jasukevicius and company, they're going to want to come out and start with a bang. Although Bayern Munich, I think if they're going to win a game in this series, it's going to be some sort of stunner in the opening game of the series where they just come out with their eyes closed punching, and maybe they land a blow. I mean, it's going to take a whole lot, but Trinquete's got some tricks up his sleeve. And I'm really interested to see that first game, but I think in the end, Barcelona at home, it's just too much.
What do you
Anthony,
think?
what do you think?
I agree. I think Bayern's going to struggle. I think they're going to have to take on this persona that like all the pressure's on Barcelona and try to ride that narrative. But at the end of the day, Barca, survives that first blow in the first half. I think it's over. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I don't think they have enough to win this series. I think, it's gonna be it's going to get ugly. I don't think it'll be close.
Yeah, Bayern have never made it past the playoff, and we already have someone here on YouTube, Eloyu, saying that his opinion is that Barcelona will be 3 and Bayern 1, so he's predicting 4 games. And I want to know, guys, now your opinion. Who do you think will take the first game in this series? Dane first, and then we go with Anthony.
Yeah, well, I think this is a pretty obvious one, probably the most obvious of all of the first round matchups. But if Bayern get one, then that'll be lucky to get one. But I think this is too much Barcelona, and Bayern's happy to be in the playoffs. I mean, obviously they'd be ecstatic to be in the Final Four, but Barcelona is a team that isn't happy to be in the playoffs. This is just run-of-the-mill stuff. This is just kind of deberes, as we call it in Spain. This is homework for them. They're waiting for the exam in the Final Four. So I think it's a clean sweep, 3-0, and Barca roll into the Final Four.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think it's a sweep. Whenever Game 3 is, Barcelona can go ahead, purchase their plane tickets back home, non-refundable, throw the receipts away. It's over after Game 3, and they'll get some rest and prepare for the Final Four. But I think, Barca's going to win every game.
I have to agree with you guys. I am going to go with Barcelona winning these 3 games. So we'll see how that goes. We want to keep reading your opinions, guys. We want to keep reading your predictions. So send them all, and we're going to be reading them. We're going to jump onto the second game that we're going to be talking about today, the game between the second-placed Olympiacos against the 7th place as Monaco. 2 of the leagues of this season best players are going to be facing in this matchup. I'm talking about Mike James and Sasha Vezenkov, who, by the way, they are in the top 5 on the total PIR. Mike James is number 3 and Vezenkov is number 5. Dane, I want to know how influential will these players be for their teams?
Well, you talk about 2 different players with 2 different roles on their teams, and these have been the best players of the last 2 months in the EuroLeague, I think. Mike James was the MVP in April or March, and Vezenkov was the MVP in February. So these guys have really pushed their sides into the playoffs and guided their sides, and I think that's what they're going to do here in the first round of the playoffs as well. Mike James, he's a different guy. He's gonna be the star of the show for AS Monaco, where he's gonna take all the workload on his back and have to be the star every minute of every game. Now, it's a different Mike James than we're used to seeing. He's playing more of a passing role. He's playing more of a leadership role, which is kind of new for him. But what he's got to focus on is getting everybody else involved, because AS Monaco, this is a young team. Like you said, Sofia, they've never been here before. This is a new stage in the club's history. So they need somebody who can take them on their back and push them through. Got to start by getting everybody else involved. That first quarter, second quarter, Mike James doesn't have to worry about points. Mike James can score 20 points in a quarter like that with his eyes closed. So that's not really a thing that he's going to have to worry about too often. But Vezenkov's got the luxury of having teammates that have been there before, that know about this situation. Lucas, Tony Dorsey, guys who will get him into the game in a natural flow. He doesn't have to force anything. He doesn't have to jump into the game. Mike James, though, if Monaco is going to have any chance, he's going to have to be spectacular in all 5 games.
Well, that's what Todd thinks from YouTube, because he thinks that as Monaco, Mike James is something else. What do you think about these players that we've mentioned, Anthony?
Yeah, I think Mike James, he has to do so much for that team, and he's done it all year. I don't think they're going to ask him to do more than what he's already done. But I think with this type of series, I mean, he's a dangerous player. I think he's the most dangerous scorer in this series, and because of that fact, and he can put up 40 points, that should be an area of concern for Olympiacos. But I'm interested to see how Olympiacos is going to prepare for Mike James, because they don't really have that one perimeter defender that's just going to lock him down. They're going to have to do it by a committee. And on the other side, I mean, Olympiacos is so balanced. Sasha Vezenkov has been one of my favorite players all year. I really like, everything that he does on the court, from, facilitating to scoring and shooting the ball, as well as rebounding. So I think that he's not gonna have to dominate the ball like Mike James will, but I think he'll still find ways to be effective, and I think he'll be able to impact this series in favor of Olympiacos.
Well, Dr. Insomnia, he talked about seeing Mike James in London and what a great player he was. Let's see if we'll be seeing him in Belgrade if Monaco can make it through. But we talked about the matchups on the court. Let's talk about the matchups on the sidelines, because it's the playoffs. And this is I mean, not just a matchup of what's going on the court. It's what's going on the X and O's on the playbook. So, Anthony, how important is this game, is this series, when you talk about Bartzokas and Obradovic?
Hey, I think this is where coaches earn their check. This is where they have to make adjustments and kind of play that game of chess between each other. So I'm really excited to see it. I mean, I think Obradovic has been amazing this year. Getting that team to rally around, his new philosophy, after the coaching change, and getting them to win so many games. But I'm very interested to see how Olympiacos comes out and switches up their coverages and things of that nature to kind of slow Mike James down. So I'm very interested to watch not only the opening game, but more so games 2 and 3 and 4. The adjustments that each side makes, from a coaching standpoint. I think it's going to be fun to see, what comes out of this second playbook.
Yeah, Sofia, what do you think? These coaches, I mean, they're in contention for Coach of the Year. How important are they going to be in this series?
Well, I think that what Anthony said is totally right. I think right now it's the time to show your coaching skills and how good you are, because right now, like I said before, it's the time of the truth. It's the time to shine and the time to prove yourself through these playoff series. I think there are two different coaches, because Obradovic came a little bit later on the season after this change, but he had great numbers, winning 12 games out of 15 for Monaco. And Bartzokas, I think, has been more consistent, and I think he's been part of a long-term project for Olympiacos. So I think their focus, as it is for Barcelona right now, is to be on the Final Four directly. That's what has been during the whole season. That's why we have seen that they haven't been in the playoffs since the 17-18 season. So it's really important for them to be in the playoffs, as it is for Monaco, because let's not forget either that it's their first time in history in their playoffs after winning the EuroCup last year. So guys, I want to know your predictions. We already have someone in YouTube saying that this one goes all to 5 as Monaco wins it 3-2. We also have George Athanasopoulos saying Olympiacos 3, Monaco 1. So guys, I want to know your predictions. I want to know who's going to make it in this first game and also throughout the series.
Well, I think, Olympiacos, they're in a place right now that they've been craving for the last 4 years. After the club's darkest era, they're finally in a position where they got their coach, they got their base, they got some stars, they got an MVP candidate in Bezenkov. This is their year, and it's been Anthony's year for the last couple of months, where he's been telling us Olympiacos is going to make it. They're going to make it. I think after not seeing the playoffs for 4 years, the Peace and Friendship Stadium is just going to go nuts. Game 1 is going to be electric. Make sure you have your noise-canceling headphones. Make sure you got the volume closed, because it's going to be deafening in that stadium. And I can't wait to watch it. I think they win Game 1, and I think Olympiacos goes on 3-1 in 4 games.
What's your gut tell you, Anthony?
I think this series is I think it's gonna go the distance. I think, we can't discount how difficult it is to play in Monaco. There's a lot of distractions. It's like heaven on earth. It's nice weather. You're not thinking about basketball when you're in Monaco. So I think that Yeah, I think this series can go 5 games, but I do have Olympiacos coming away with the win in this series, though.
I'm gonna agree with Anthony. I think they're gonna go to game 5 and Olympiacos will take it. Someone on YouTube, Guy Naven, saying that the Greece will take it in 4 games. That's something that we will be discovering. Will Monaco be in the underdogs of these playoff series? We don't know, but we're gonna be paying attention. We're gonna be putting our eye into those games. But the real goal, the real objective of all these teams that are in the playoffs is to make it to the Final Four, to get the EuroLeague trophy.
Three special plays in one.
City's up and foul. All the way.
What a play.
Wayne bringing the bacon.
The third playoff spot sees Armani exchange Milan against the defending championship titles, Anadolu Efes. Actually, Anadolu Efes are number 1 in total PIR and total points, and number 2 in point percentage average. So, Anthony, do you think that they have the strongest offense on the league?
I wouldn't say they have the strongest offense, and I'm just going by the eye test here. I've watched them, and obviously they can score the ball. They have a lot of, phenomenal scores, but I see them get a little stagnant at times. And I wouldn't say that they have the strongest offense, but they have a very strong offense. And I think that is an area of concern for, Milan. As solid as Milan is, I think that Efes is just a team that can score in bunches. And it's hard to counter that. So I'm very excited for this series. I mean, this is the series I've been waiting for, and I won't miss a second.
Yeah, Anthony, this is the must-see matchup of the first round, I think. And you look at Efes, they are not the top team in terms of points per game. That distinction goes to Monaco, but they're just a point back, 0.9 points back. Efes, and they have that star power where they can turn it on at any time they want. And Coach Adelman knows that. He knows he's got 2 of the best players in the league, and Misic, top scorer, and Larkin, dishing, scoring. They can do a little bit of everything. 83.1 points per game. But like you said, they can kind of switch on and off, and that offensive rhythm can get disrupted. So I think Rodrigue Bourbois and guys like Adrian Morman, they're going to be keys in this series, because let's not forget that Milano, they're a good defensive team, the best defensive team in the playoffs at 72.1 points per game allowed. Now that's a stat that kind of you have to take with a grain of salt, because they've allowed over 72 games in every game since February. So that's kind of a stat that maybe they aren't as good as a defensive team as they were in the early part of the season. And now they have to go up against one of the top offensive teams, and it's of course a team that knows how to play in the playoffs. They proved that last year. They beat Barcelona. They've got that title, and they got that swag. So this is, for me, the must-see matchup of the first round of the playoffs. And speaking of that, Milan have won on both games against Efes. So I want to know, Sofia, how much does that come into account? How much is that a factor coming into this playoff series?
I think that the playoff is let's say a clean slate. So I don't think that what happened in the regular season will actually count into what happens in these playoffs. I think that Efes is it's become really strong in the last games, and I think it won't be as easy for Armani Milan So I'm really also excited to see how Shane Larkin performs. We have also a lot of fan love from people on YouTube watching, saying Suklu of Kelly, saying, is it a question of course Efes? We have also some support to Ataman and like how his passion is one of the main characteristics of Efes. So I don't know, guys, what you think, but I think it won't be easy for Milan.
Well, I think Gokoi Guler, who's in our comments asking about Ataman's passion, I love that question. What a great, our comment section has been on fire this week. I don't know what's going on. They're in playoff mode as well, but Shane Larkin's been in playoff mode basically since all year long, since the season started. He's leading the league in minutes. He's third highest PIR in the league. Anthony, is he going to be the man in this series?
Yeah, I think Shane Larkin is definitely going to be a man in this series, because this is going to be a battle of the perimeters, the perimeter of Milan versus the perimeter of Efes. And I think out of all the perimeter players, Shane Larkin has a skill that the others don't, and that's his speed. I think his speed, Shane knows he can get by anybody at any time, and his ability to distribute and score the ball with his speed, I think, is going to be a huge factor for Efes and in their success. But again, I think Milan is gonna figure it out. They're a great defensive team, across the board, and I think Milan's gonna find a way to kind of slow Shane down. But Shane is he's gonna be very influential to Ephesus' success in this series.
Well, great players that we're gonna witness in this playoff series. So, guys, I want to know what are your predictions for this first game of the series and the end of the series? Who will make it to the Final Four?
Oh boy, we don't, Anthony. We don't want to answer because we have no idea what's going to happen in this series, do we?
Yeah.
I mean, we're both biting our tongue over here, but we're supposed to be the experts, so I guess we got to answer. Let's see. I think Milano kind of ended the season a bit touched up, and this is a great team, but they've kind of lost their identity a little bit. Coach Ataman, all they need to do was get to the playoffs. They brushed off that slow start to the season, and now they're right where they want to be. They don't have home court advantage. They don't care. They're playing against a higher seed. They don't care. I mean, they've got this. They've got the side, the squad to do it. They've got the backcourt to do it. And now they got that championship swag, which I love. Coach Ataman's had it even before he won a title. And now he's got that cockiness where he's, puffing his chest out. This is his time of year. I'm going Efes in game one, Efes in the series. It's going 5 games, though.
Okay. I'm on the other side of the fence, man. I got Milan winning game one, and I got Milan winning the series. I do have it going 5 games. I think both teams are going to steal a game on each other's home court, but I got it going 5 games. But I think Milan is they're the more consistent team, and I think they'll prevail in the end.
Well, I'm gonna agree with my co-host Anthony. I'm gonna go with Efes to game 5, just like it happened last year. They went to game 5 with Real Madrid and they made it. And speaking of Real Madrid, this is the last matchup that we're gonna be talking about today, because the 4th place Real Madrid will be facing the 5th place Maccabi Tel Aviv. These teams have really had really opposing fortunes by the end of the regular season. Real Madrid lost 8 of the 10 last games of the regular season, whereas Maccabi won the last 6. Do you think, Anthony, that Maccabi has an advantage? And how do you think also, Dane, that Real Madrid can change their fortune?
I think Maccabi definitely has an advantage. They've been playing extremely well. I think James Nunnally's been great for them. Scotty Wilbekin's been playing well. Real Madrid, though, with all that experience, with Big Tavares down low, I think they're going to be a load to handle. I'm excited to see how Nigel Williams-Goss plays in this series. I think he's a player that can get in the paint and make some things happen for Real Madrid, and they're definitely going to need him to step up. But I think Maccabi, with that fan base and how well they've been playing, I think they definitely have an advantage.
Well, Sophia, you asked us if Maccabi have the advantage right now. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? They couldn't wait to get to this game right now. Madrid's a fragile side. I mean, they've lost what I don't even know. They've just been terrible. Let's just leave it at that. I think it's 6 of 7. I think, but yeah, this is a side that Maccabi, they're rolling right now, and they're a train that right now nobody wants to get on the tracks and try to stop, because Real Madrid, this is a team that's really struggling, but not just it's strange for them because it's hard to pinpoint what exactly is going wrong. The thing that's going wrong for them, and Pablo Lasso preached it to me in those pre-game, post-game interviews, they need consistency. They need that sort of 40-minute performance. They haven't had one really since the Asbel game, and even then it was kind of on the rocks, where that was I think their last win in the regular season. But Real Madrid is a team right now that everybody wanted to face. They dropped down from that potential 2nd seed to that 4th seed, and now that's opened up the floodgates for Maccabi. They're just licking their lips right now. They can't wait to play this game, where I think Real Madrid's coming in demoralized at the moment. And let's see if they can put that 40 minutes together. I think that last game against Maccabi in the Menorah, they put 3.5 quarters together, and then they went scoreless. They'll be looking to build upon that performance, but end it a bit better than they did in Israel. But for me, this is another excellent matchup, and I can't wait to watch. Speaking of matchups down low, we've got 2 big boys for Maccabi, of course, and for Real Madrid. Walter Tavares, Ante Zizic, 2 of the best centers in the league. Who's got the edge in this matchup of the towers down low, Sophia?
Well, I'm going to go obviously with Tavares. You know, I'm a huge Real Madrid fan. Also, Tavares have had better numbers than Zizic. Also, I think that Real Madrid needs to rely not only on Tavares, but needs to rely on more players. Let's see how Rudy Fernandez comes out, Poirier, Sergio Llull. We have seen that Gabriel Deck has tested positive for COVID, so he won't be playing game 1. We don't know about game 2 yet. So definitely Maccabi also has Zizic, but they also have Welbeck, Nunali, that have had really great numbers in the last game. So I think it's going to be a very tight game for both teams.
Yeah, Anthony, when you talk about defense winning championships, is defense going to win this matchup, this series?
Hey, playoffs is all about defense, and defense is definitely gonna win this series. And because of that, I think probably in the entire playoff layout landscape, Tavares is probably the best defender, or the most imposing defender, out of any team. So I expect him, especially in this series, to see a little more minutes than he's probably used to seeing. And and I think he's gonna have a big impact on this game on the defensive end. And I know if I was Pablo, I'm leaving Tavares on the floor, man. I'm leaving him on the floor, and let him do what he does. But it's definitely gonna be a defensive battle.
We have some Tavares fans also watching, because Dr. Insomnia is saying Tavares is 7'3" wall of defense. Not even Scotty will be able to get past him. Also, Norin Rat saying Tavares for sure. So I think we all agree that Tavares will be key for Real Madrid in this playoff series. And we also think that he will beat Zizic in that aspect. Last time, the last two times that these 2 teams met, the scores were really, really tight. Real Madrid took their win at home, and Maccabi took also the win at home. So who do you think is gonna make it, or the predictions? But also, do you think this is a game of a level playing field?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely level at this moment, and it might even have a slight edge to Maccabi. I think Maccabi having that fan base, and it's one of the toughest places to play. They're going to be extremely excited, for the playoffs and having another historic team in the arena. I think Maccabi's going to be playing with a different energy, and as well having that confidence of knowing that each game has been close. Real Madrid has not been playing well lately. I think Maccabi they're gonna be hitting on all cylinders. So, but I definitely think it's a level playing field, and it could go either way. But I think there's a slight edge for Maccabi.
You talk about what teams in the ascension, what teams going down in the descension, and it's very obvious coming into this, but really you throw that out the door because this is a team in Real Madrid that's a different beast in the playoffs. I mean, they're used to being there. What is it? I think they've been there for over a decade straight now, and this is a side. Even last year when they played against Efes, they were the 6th seed. They had tons of trouble with injuries and players leaving and things like this. So they still took the defending champs to 5 games. This year's the same kind of thing. They're coming in struggling. They're what is it? Limping into the playoffs, and right now I think they're going to need that championship or that playoff pedigree that they've built up over the last half century, where they say, all right, you know what? We're struggling right now, but we're Real Madrid, and we're still expected to win these games. They're going to have to win both games at home because, like you said, Anthony, going to the Menorah, that is not going to be easy trying to steal one in Tel Aviv. So for me, this is in the balance. I think it goes all the way too, but this is for me, Maccabi. They're going to want to take advantage of having Madrid in the first round because I think that's who they were looking for. Maccabi haven't been to the playoffs either. I'm sorry, Sofia. Maccabi, they haven't been to the playoffs either. So I'm going to ask you, and then I'll get Anthony's reaction. But they haven't been to the playoffs in a long time, 2015. So I want to know, what does it mean for them to be back in the playoffs? It's been almost a decade now. Anthony, go ahead, and then go to Sofia.
I mean, I think it's huge, and I think the fans are going to be ready. I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere, and this is why we're here. It's EuroLeague playoff basketball, so I think it's going to be an electric night in Maccabi when they return back to Tel Aviv.
100%. I think the fans are going to play a huge part in this matchup. But I think that right now, like Dane said, I think that Maccabi was looking to face this wounded Real Madrid. And it's not going to be a lot about the court or the fans, but about how Real Madrid makes it through these 40 minutes of the game. So, guys, I want to know your final predictions for this final matchup. First game in the playoff series, Real Madrid or Maccabi? Who you got, Dane?
So I'm going with Madrid in the first game. I think Madrid comes out, they shake that terrible last few weeks off their shoulder. And I'm going with Madrid in this series, but I think each team is going to hold serve at home. So I'm going Madrid, Maccabi, and then game 5 in Madrid, the Los Blancos take it.
Oh, man, I've been going back and forth on this one for a long time. And I think Real's probably going to win the first game, but I got Maccabi sneaking out somehow. Somehow they're going to escape. And, they're going back to the Final Four. So, I got Maccabi.
Well, I have to say that I will have Real Madrid, but it's going to be to game 5. In the first game, Maccabi will take it, and after that, Madrid will recover and make it from there. So we can see what's going to happen in that game with Anthony Goods on the watch along tomorrow at 7:50 Central East time. You're going to be watching the game live. This week it's a turn for Real Madrid, Maccabi Tel Aviv, but each week you're going to be following one of the playoff games. So, well, I hope that you have fun watching it live with a very special guest. We'll be catching an eye on that. I want to say thank you guys for joining us today. Dane, Anthony, it's been great to have you. And we're going to be back next Tuesday at 5:30 Central East time to keep talking about what happened in this first round of the playoffs and what can we expect about the second week of this playoff. Thank you so much for answer, your opinion, your expertise. And also, I want to say thank you to everyone on YouTube watching, sending us comments, sending us your predictions. We love reading you, and we expect to see you again next Tuesday, like I said, at 5:30 Central East Time. And remember that we have this special EuroLeague discount to offer to you tonight, because you can enjoy a 10% off on a monthly or annual pass with the code WatchAlong10, excluding Italy or Spain, or Spain, and you can use it on EuroLeague and EuroLeague TV. For more EuroLeague content until we're back, you can definitely follow EuroLeague in social medias, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, whatever works best for you. You can have all the news on EuroLeague there. Thank you guys so much. And to watch EuroStep on demand, you can do it on YouTube and EuroLeague TV. Thank you. And we'll be back next week with more news, more games, more playoff, more Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Thank you. And have a great playoff week.